If you're feeling like, okay, I don't want to follow up on this prospect too hard because I'm going to seem too keen or I'm going to lose it, let me tell you that you will lose 9 deals out of 10 as a result of not following up, as opposed to the one that you will lose from following up too hard, right? You want those people complimenting you and saying like, wow, you're incredible. I wish my sales guys were like you. Like, you just never ever stop following up. You keep calling me, and it's not something that I want to leave to chance. The other thing that you guys need to do is when somebody says that they're shopping around, you need to pretend like you are the only player on the field and forget that they even told you that they're shopping around, and you still follow up this same follow-up program. You're the only player on the field. So when you call them, you don't ask them how they've gone with other agencies or other options. You just pretend like you're the only one out there following them up to get this done. Because that just means that you're just so confident in what you're going that it doesn't even matter. Oh, look, I need to shop around, Sabri, you're gonna need to leave it with me. Yep, no problems, completely understand that you need to shop around. And then 2 days later, you call them back. How'd you go? Have you looked at the proposal you read? And you don't even mention, how did you go with getting other proposals? No, none of that stuff, right? Oh yeah, I've gotten one proposal, but I'm still waiting to get another guy in. Cool, the price was the same, who would you go with? Why do you like us? And just pretend like they're not even in the game, these other guys, unless they specifically bring them up and they're asking you questions about that. You just want to just basically follow them up like crazy, man, and cover them up like crazy. The way that I've always approached it is when I get that opportunity, once I pitch that person, like I've always told you guys, you will never, ever get that prospect as hot as at the end of that first strategy session. It's just regressing to the mean after that. It's moving backwards and it's getting colder and colder. And the more time that you put in that sales cycle, the lower your chances are of ever converting that prospect into a customer, right? So I follow up incredibly hard. I cover them up in a blanket in that first 2 weeks where I'm just literally hitting them with so much that they can't even move. Like, there's pipe bombs, there's text messages, there's videos, there's Loom videos, that's getting people involved in the deal. There's so many things that I will do on that person initially. Yeah, thanks Jamie, like leave it with me mate, I'm really under the pump, like, you know, I need to do all this shit, call me back in 2 weeks. That is a lie. He doesn't need you to call him back in 2 weeks. That's why we never ask people, when would you like me to call you back, right? Cool, I'm gonna send you out the prop, I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow, when suits, 10 a.m. or 4 p.m. We're giving the directive, we are in control. Oh mate, I'm really under the pump, you know, it's gonna basically, you're gonna have to give me a call back in 2 weeks. Sure, well look, if I'm gonna need to give you a call back in 2 weeks, then there's no point me really sending the proposal to you because you're gonna forget most of the stuff that we discussed. So if that's the case, I would rather just leave it to 2 weeks. All right, mate, I'll try to make some time tomorrow. Awesome, I'll kick it out to you and call them back. Like, regardless of what they say to you, you just need to be following them up. And you need to be imagining that every time somebody tells you something is a lie. And, oh, I need to speak with my business partner. No problems, most people do need to speak to their business partner. What do you think that they're going to say? Oh, I think he'll probably have a problem with the contract. Awesome, and then you just start to handle that objection now. He already knows what his business partner is going to say. He doesn't need to speak to his business partner. He knows that person well enough to know what their objections are. So you want to handle that objections with the prospect and arm them, so when they go away and speak with their business partner, you've handled that objection and then he goes and handles it for you. But if you just leave that to them, it's done. You'll never ever get it. Oh yeah, these guys want to go with us, but it's a 12-month contract. Yeah mate, we don't do contracts. Cool, we'll leave it. And then you call that guy and he feels like the door is already closed and you can never reinvigorate them. Don't go away from just following these guys up like crazy. Everybody's gonna say to me, yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. And then I'm gonna ask them, what is gonna take 2 to 3 weeks? What is it that you're gonna be needing to handle over the next 2 to 3 weeks? And I'll get a realistic picture of what's gonna happen rather than them telling me, nah, 2 to 3 days, when I know that's a lie. Like, how many deals that we do are the guys sending back the paperwork in 2 to 3 days? Like, it's probably 10 to 20% of the time. 80% of the time, they're not, right? And it's the follow-up game begins. That's when the sale really begins, is after they've got the prop. That's when we start following up, right? And that's when we start getting after them. And we know that 60 to 70% of people are gonna ghost us, whether it's a $5 decision or a $500,000 decision. People don't wanna make decisions, right? So that's where the follow-up game begins. That is the number one thing. I can't harp on it enough. And it needs to be strategic. It can't be whatever you feel like. or what you think is right for that particular prospect or that particular lead. It needs to be like, this is the format, and I just do it every single time. Because it's just like, if you look at, for instance, what happens in the top of the funnel, yeah, I get people saying, hey man, you're emailing me too much, right? Or all the little things that they say. But more often than not, what does that result in? It results in us winning. Even though I know that's not going to be perfect for everybody, it's a winning formula, and that's what this thing is. So you will get some people say, hey, like, you're coming in a bit heavy. Like, don't call me every day. Don't call me every 2 days. Don't call me every 3 days. Cool, man. I'll just follow up just to check that everything's all good. I'll give you a call back in the next week. That's the worst thing that's gonna happen, right? But what usually happens is you follow somebody up. This is like, if you think about a normal sales environment, this is what happens. Somebody get a proposal. The sales guy calls him the next day and says to him, oh, did you get the proposal yet? And then like, what do you think? Oh yeah, I still haven't had a look at it, or I need to think about it, right? They get hit with that objection. And then what happens next is, okay, cool, when should I call you back? Call me back in 2 weeks. The guy, if he's got half a brain, will call the guy back in 2 weeks. He won't answer his phone call, and then the salesperson stops calling. That's literally what happens, right? 9 out of 10 times that's the environment. So these prospects are trained that if they ghost you, this monkey on their back will disappear. Right? So that's why I say that like once you've voicemailed a guy 3 or 4 times is when you start to have fun with it. It's Sabri here from King Kong. I'm building an incredible relationship with your voicemail. Really feel like I'm getting to know it right now. Just want to let you know, Brian, I am not going to stop giving you a call, as this is something that's obviously really important to you. So please give me a call back. Otherwise, I will keep calling you. Thank you. Bye. Bye. That guy, okay, this guy's not going away. Yeah, this guy is a different beast. He is not going to leave me alone. And once that happens is they start listening to the voicemail, they start laughing, they start showing their friends, they're in the car, they're like, fuck, this guy's a maniac. Man, have you seen this guy? He called me voicemail fucking 6 times in the last 2 weeks, this guy. And they start to build admiration for you. Man, you're good, man, your shit is good, right? Whenever you hit me, you've got something fresh to say. You are the only player on the field when that happens. There is nobody else out there. It is the Andy show, it is the Brian show, it is the Dave show. But when you let them know that you're not gonna give up, that's when things change. Because they are trained by every single company out there that if you ignore a salesperson 2 to 3 times, they disappear. And how much easier is it to just make somebody disappear than having to have a confronting conversation and tell somebody that you're not gonna go ahead with something? It's so much easier. And what do people do? They go to the path of least resistance. And the path of least resistance is to ignore you until you tell them that you are somebody that it's impossible to ignore, because you'd never ever stop following up. Like, you just follow up people forever. Like when I was on the telephones, I was following people up for 3 years because you just stay in the fucking deal forever. And that's the part about building out that pipeline. If you've got someone that you sent out a prop to and they're qualified and they own a legitimate business and they're turning over 500,000 or $1 million or 2 million or 5 million, why would you ever give up on that prospect if they agreed to getting a proposal just because they've stopped picking up your telephone calls? That pipeline is building, but more often than not, you guys are saying die on those leads and they're saying die on you because you've called the guy 3 or 4 times and you think he's not interested anymore. He is still interested. He still owns a business. He still needs to get more customers. You just got to stay in those deals because nobody is following that guy up for 3 to 6 months, let alone a year. Nobody. Every single salesperson lose steam and they try to go for the lowest lying fruit. No one will ever say, Sabri, this has been fantastic. I'm looking to make a decision in the next 2 days. Please call me back, right? No one will ever say that to me. Everyone will always say, yeah, it's gonna be 2 to 3 weeks, or not this quarter, or not this financial year, or I need to speak to the Father Christmas, or whoever it is, right? So I want the opportunity to handle that objection. Otherwise, what people, either I say it at the start of the call, everyone will always lie to me and say, yeah, look, this is something that we're looking to get sorted. I'll go through the pitch, I'll get to the end, then I'll kick them out the prop. 70% of the time, they're gonna ghost me, and they haven't told me the truth that this isn't something that they're looking to get handled right now. I want the opportunity to handle that objection at the end of that first call, because I'm never ever gonna get the guy as hot as that ever again. And if he tells me 2 to 3 weeks when he is at the peak of heat, then I know that in all reality, like if I'm gonna get on the call with him and not find that out, on that second call, he's cooled off and he's just gonna say, leave it with me, leave it with me, leave it with me, right? I just pretend like it's a one call close. So it's whatever works for different people, but what I'm trying to do is get that person to a situation where I'm finding the honest truth. If someone tells you that they need to think about it, what they're really saying is that there's an objection in my head that I'm not telling you, right? And I don't trust you enough to tell you this objection right now, because they already know whether or not they're gonna go ahead with it. So whether you do it at the start of call or you do it at the end of the call, it doesn't change a lot, because still where the majority of the deals are gonna be being done is on that follow-up. You are in the biggest position of power before you send that person a proposal. That is the pinnacle of your power, is in that time. As soon as you send out the prop, the dynamic changes. You have given me what I need to make a decision now, and I'll just do as I please. I've got this proposal in my back pocket. I'll pick up your calls if I want to pick them up. I'll say I'm going to go ahead when I want to give up. I will do what I want to do now. But all the things, all the objections that I've got in here, you need to use all of these to your utensils. Right? You need to have all of this weaponry in the holster ready to roll, and asking people at all levels. And when you expect it and you know it, when it happens, it's just like the judo roll. You know it's coming, you just roll into it. Okay, this is an objection. I'm not gonna freak out here and think I'm losing the deal. I'm just gonna go through the process. Good job. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you click the like button and subscribe. We're dropping a video on YouTube every other day. And if you've got any questions about any of the content that I covered in this video, just basically leave a comment with hashtag HeySubri in the comments section. And every week we're also trying to go through all those questions and get them answered. So go ahead, click subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.